Personal story segment tonight. While Americans are working harder than ever because jobs are tight and salaries are declining, over in France, they have a much different situation. There, the government mandates a 35-hour work week. Employers cannot go over that without providing compensation. And now there's a new French labor agreement that says some businesses cannot even contact their workers after 6 p.m.
Viva la France!
Yeah, they get some things very right over there. But wouldn't it change your lives? It would be impossible in our business. But in a lot of businesses, wouldn't it be life-changing if you didn't have to deal with work after the day's over?
You might be excited to go back to work the next day.
Yeah,
if you had some period off of thinking about it.
That's fantastic.
I know my kids would appreciate that if we could put the phone down every once in a while.
Joining us now from Washington, Genevieve Wood, who works at the Foundry, a Heritage Foundation blog. So, you know, in France, obviously, leisure time is very important to the French. All right, they want to have some cafe and smoke a little cigarette and all of that. We're here in America, we're more industrious, generally speaking. But isn't there something to be said for that over there, what they're doing?
Well, there's something to be said for, you know, having your time off, certainly, and be rewarded for your hard work. But I don't think anybody thinks the folks in France are working too hard. And the whole reason we're talking about this is because you've had a court over there who came out and said, even though we have a 35-hour work week, even though I think most folks in France get at least 6 weeks of what they call holiday, paid vacation, we're worried that some folks might be working too hard. Maybe their boss is calling them after 6 p.m. or emailing them after 6 p.m. And I think what's interesting about that, Bill, is the very group they're talking about aren't people who work Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. It's folks who are kind of in the consulting class. Well, the reason most people, or a lot of folks, go into consulting is so they don't have to work 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 every day. They can work when they want to and just get the job done. But apparently that might even be up for discussion. And look, we have it different in this country, and people could say, well, maybe Americans work too hard. The average private employer, somebody working for a private industry, works 40 to 41 hours. I don't think most people think that's too much.
All right. Now, why did the French government, I mean, they seem to be very intrusive. And you know, almost the theme of this program tonight is this big government, you know, telling people what to do and all of that. But the French, they want this kind of government protection. Right? I mean, they have a socialist president over there now. Yeah. They want that, right?
Well, maybe some of them do, but I mean, I don't think there's any place more than France that is entirely a nanny state. I mean, Bill, it's not just their jobs, it's their health care, it's their pension. Everything about French society is basically regulated. Well, maybe they do. I don't know if everybody in France loves that or not, but I don't think...
hold on. I mean, they know what they're getting there. All right, let me put it this way. Their economy over there is not nearly as vibrant as the USA because they don't have as many people to deal with, and they you know, if you go to France, people live pretty good over there. I mean, we're not talking about the third world.
Well, hey, Bill, listen, let's not forget, I mean, was it 2 years ago, this very network and others were covering the riots in France, people turning over cars and putting things on fire, and this is because a lot of the immigrants moving there saying they can't get jobs, young people are saying they can't get jobs, and the reason is, look, you're right, what companies are opening up in France? I mean, if you want a hardworking labor force, you want to go somewhere where people aren't just worried about clocking in and clocking out, they're worried about the product people produce, and the great thing about this country is, even though the Obama administration doesn't always like it, is that people can, look, most employers just want you to get the job done. If you get it done in 30 hours or you get it done in 40, that's why we have a lot of flex time in this country. People can work from home. People can work the hours when they want to work them. That's what we ought to be pursuing. I think where France is totally out of step with where the modern economy is going.
But next time, here's what we're going to hear next in the USA: vacation equality. See, we have income equality now. You know, we have vacation equality. You know, we want you know, the same as they have. But, you know, there's something about me because I come from a working class background. I've worked hard all my life in a variety of different situations, and I respect hard work. But I don't want to be, I think there has to be, the government has to protect workers to some extent. I mean, the unions have sold out. You can't really count on them to do it anymore. I don't like what's happening in the United States, the intrusion, but I do think that there's some common sense stuff. I'll give you the last word.
Well, Bill, you're right. There's a reason we have protection for workers, because there was a time, both in this country and other times, where workers weren't protected. But as with many things, people go too far. Labor unions have done that here, and I would argue the French government and even the Obama administration is wanting to do that when it comes to regulating the workforce.
All right. Ms. Wood, thanks as always. When we come right back.